Angel Reese has once again found herself in the center of controversy, and this time, it's more explosive than ever. It all started with a heartfelt message from Angel. She said she was heartbroken, lost for words, talking about how much her former coach, Teresa Weatherspoon, meant to her during a pivotal time in her life.
Angel Reese started with, "I'm heartbroken. I'm literally lost for words, knowing what this woman meant to me in such a pivotal point in my life."
Now, this wouldn't be too surprising except for one small detail. Angel's already dealing with steroid allegations. And if that wasn't enough, she's now pointing the finger at her former coach. Yup, Reese dropped a bombshell suggesting that Teresa Weatherspoon might be the face of betrayal. Chicago Sky officials quickly suspended Weatherspoon, saying it was because the team didn't perform well. But hold on, Angel is spilling some serious tea, claiming that's not the real reason. According to Reese, there's more to the story. But what's the truth here? Is Angel right, or is this just another dramatic twist in her saga?
According to some new reports, that relationship cost her job.
Why is she doing this? Are these allegations actually true, or is this just another dramatic twist in the Angel Reese saga? Let's get into the heart of it, because things are getting messier by the minute. And ever since this bombshell dropped, the internet has been ablaze. Yeah, all thanks to Angel Reese.
Angel Reese wants to be Draymond Green, but there's nothing about her game that's really interesting.
She was once hailed as the next big thing in the WNBA, but now she's at the center of a scandal so explosive it's shaking the league to its core. After months of whispers and speculation, the truth has finally surfaced. Angel Reese allegedly turned to performance-enhancing drugs in a desperate attempt to cling to the spotlight. When you can't keep up with the rising stars of the league, what do? For Reese, it seems the answer was to turn to steroids in a last-ditch effort to close the gap.
And Angel Reese continued to play into it last night by getting ejected, and it's almost like it's all scripted. She's all the talk. She's the one standing up there in front of reporters saying, "I need all of you guys to realize there's two of us."
And then, boom, the news breaks. Angel Reese tested positive for performance-enhancing drugs, and the entire WNBA world went into a frenzy. Her team at the time, the Chicago Sky, didn't hesitate for a second, suspending her immediately as they launched an investigation. But let's be honest, we all knew where this was going from the start, didn't we?
Was it good for Angel? Was it good for the rest of the team?
The moment those test results came in, Reese's career took a nosedive, faster than her shooting percentage in the fourth quarter. Her public image was already hanging by a thread, but this shattered it beyond repair. The Chicago Sky wasted no time cutting her loose, and fans across the league were left completely stunned, picking their jaws up off the floor.
People didn't notice the game, they're noticing it now. Well, that's because of Caitlin Clark.
The drugs Reese allegedly used? We're not talking about harmless over-the-counter vitamins here. Nope, she reportedly went for EPO, erythropoietin, a powerful performance enhancer that boosts stamina and endurance by increasing red blood cells. Yeah, it's the same stuff cyclists and marathon runners use to turn into near superhumans. And that's not all. Rumor has it she also dabbled in anabolic steroids, the kind that builds muscle faster than you can say bad idea. Both of these substances are, of course, strictly banned by WNBA regulations, and they're not messing around with this. Athletes caught using these kinds of drugs, they usually face suspensions, public humiliation, and a big, ugly question mark over their entire career. Oh, what pushed Reese to make such a risky move? One word: pressure. The pressure to stay relevant, the pressure to not just play, but to stand out in a league that's now dominated by rising stars like Caitlin Clark. Clark, who basically spent her rookie year rewriting the WNBA record books, was putting up 20 points a game, shattering assist records, and making everyone else look like they were moving in slow motion. Meanwhile, Reese was struggling to keep pace.
Honestly, I think the biggest thing she should focus on is just finishing around the rim. That is something where maybe her rebounds will be halved. However, she will still make such an impact.
Sure, Reese's 11.5 points and 9.2 rebounds per game weren't terrible, but compared to Clark's supernova-level performances, it was like trying to outrun a jet engine in a foot race. And let's be real, many of Reese's rebounds were just her grabbing her own missed shots, hardly the stuff of domination. But here's the thing about pressure: it pushes people to make choices consequences they never imagined. The swirling rumors about Reese's steroid use tell the sad tale of an athlete who couldn't keep up with Clark's blinding spotlight and chose the shortcut instead of the grind. Instead of pushing herself harder, she allegedly turned to performance enhancers, hoping they'd close the gap between her and the league's elite. Spoiler alert, they didn't. What they did do got her caught and booted from the Chicago Sky quicker than you can say scandal. Angel Reese said she'd play the villain, and boy did she deliver. Kennedy Carter might embrace that role too, but Reese? She's taken it to a whole new level. The buzz about her and Caitlin Clark's rivalry was supposed to be the next great saga of women's basketball, a showdown of elite talent. But instead of being the star of that story, Reese has become the face of one of the most shocking doping scandals the WNBA has ever seen. The irony? She didn't need to go down this path. When she first entered the league, the potential was undeniable. Fans were ready for a fierce, legendary rivalry, not this. Now, with her career in freefall, people can't help but wonder, was Reese ever playing clean? Has her entire journey been built on a lie? It's a fall from grace that shakes the very foundation of what fans thought they knew. And now, the once promising rivalry with Clark, completely overshadowed by this scandal. Would Angel Reese really cut her rookie season short just to avoid the humiliation of losing Rookie of the Year to Caitlin Clark? It sure seems like that's the burning question, and it's not looking good for Reese. The Chicago Sky didn't waste a second. The moment the investigation started, they suspended her, and when the positive test hit, it was game over. The WNBA, a league working so hard to expand its fan base and build a stronger brand, now finds itself drowning in a PR disaster. One of its most recognizable stars, Reese, has now become the face of a cheating scandal, leaving the league scrambling to clean up the mess. And, of course, Angel Reese, always managing to play the victim. But let's pause for a second. The mental toll this took on her must have been brutal. Some reports claim the constant comparisons to Caitlin Clark were eating her alive. Clark was out there rewriting WNBA history, signing endorsement deals, and leading her team to the playoffs, while Reese, she was stuck on a team that couldn't even dream of success. The frustration, the relentless criticism, the pressure from the media, it must have been unbearable. And in the face of all that, Reese made a devastating decision. But before you start feeling sorry for her, pump the brakes. This steroid scandal didn't just ruin Reese's career, it sent the Chicago Sky into absolute chaos. The locker room turned toxic, trust evaporated, and Reese's teammates were left seething. Angel Reese may need Caitlin Clark to stay relevant, but Clark, she doesn't need Reese. The once promising leader had not only broken the rules, but also shattered the bond with her team. When that trust is gone, so is the team spirit. The Sky's season was already in shambles, and Reese's actions delivered the final blow. And just when you thought it couldn't get messier, in comes the plot twist. Rumors that Chicago Sky head coach Teresa Weatherspoon might have had a hand in this whole steroid scandal. Yep, the very coach who was supposed to steer the ship may have actually pushed Reese toward the iceberg. Allegedly in a desperate attempt to salvage their dismal 13-27 record, Weatherspoon suggested Reese take a boost. It sounds straight out of a bad sports drama, right? But that's the rumor swirling around, and it's tearing the team apart. The fallout was swift. When the steroid scandal hit, the Sky's front office didn't hesitate. Weatherspoon was gone faster than you could say scandal. Her firing wasn't just about losing games. It was about purging every toxic influence tied to this disaster. A once promising coaching career now marred by controversy and speculation. Meanwhile, on the other side of the WNBA, Caitlin Clark was soaring to legendary status. Her arrival lit the league on fire, with viewership skyrocketing by 400%. While Reese's name became synonymous with scandal, Clark's was linked to dominance, hard work, and pure talent. No shortcuts, no drama, just skill. Brands lined up, and Nike even handed her a $28 million deal, solidifying her as the face of the WNBA. Clark was on top of the world, breaking records and rising to stardom, while Reese's game was crumbling under the weight of her own choices. The contrast couldn't be more striking. Clark didn't need to play the villain. She let her game do the talking, and the spotlight followed naturally. As for Reese, well, she may have stirred up plenty of headlines, but not for the reasons she hoped. Meanwhile, there's another shocking update regarding Caitlin. A WNBA legend get caught because planning hate against Clark. You see, it wasn't just a vote, it was a calculated move by someone who couldn't stand the idea of being overshadowed by a rookie. This WNBA legend, who had been on top for so long, felt the pressure of the new generation. Caitlin Clark wasn't just another rookie, she was changing the entire game, and that's something this so-called icon couldn't handle. But here's the kicker, this isn't just about losing the spotlight. For years, years, this legend had crafted an image of being the face of the WNBA, the ultimate competitor, the one with the heart of a champion. And in just one season, Clark came in like a whirlwind and redefined what it means to dominate. It wasn't just the points, the assists, or the rebounds. It was the way Clark made the game look effortless, the way she commanded respect from the moment she stepped on the court. But this legend, she saw Clark's rise as a threat, and when you're in that position, sometimes you make desperate choices. We're talking about someone who bribed a journalist, someone who wasn't willing to let the next generation take over just yet. Think about that. This was more than just trying to get one vote. This legend wanted to send a message. I'm still the queen of the court, and I'm not ready to step aside. But it backfired badly. Now that the truth is out, the fans, the media, the entire league are left questioning everything they thought they knew about this player. She was supposed to be the role model, the leader, but behind the scenes, jealousy and insecurity took over, and while she was busy trying to play games off the court, Caitlin Clark was letting her skills do the talking on it. This vote, this scandal, it's like peeling back a layer of what really goes on behind the scenes in the WNBA. It makes you wonder how many other players have been held back by these kinds of shady tactics. How many rising stars have been dimmed by veterans who can't let go of the past? And now that this legend has been exposed, what's next for her? Will she try to save face and apologize? Or will this be the end of her legacy as we know it? Because while Caitlin Clark is on a rocket to superstardom, this legend's reputation might be crashing just as fast. When the stray vote popped up, it wasn't just a mistake. It was a head scratcher that sent shockwaves through the WNBA community. The vote came from journalist Cameron Duncan, but nobody could wrap their heads around why he voted for Angel Reese over Caitlin Clark. Reese had a decent season, sure, but Clark? Clark was on a different level, breaking records like it was just another day at the office. So why, out of all people, did Duncan throw his support behind Reese? Well, here's where things get even juicier. Word on the street is Duncan wasn't acting alone. Behind that controversial vote was none other than WNBA superstar Aja Wilson. Yes, that Aja Wilson, the reigning queen of the league, the face of multiple championships, and a player who's been racking up MVP awards like they're souvenirs. But why would someone like Wilson, a player who's at the very top of the WNBA, care about a Rookie of the Year vote? It doesn't make sense, right? Unless it does. You see, Wilson's been on the throne for a while now, dominating the league and building her legacy. But with Caitlin Clark bursting onto the scene, that legacy suddenly seemed at risk. Clark wasn't just making noise in the WNBA, she was reshaping it. Fans, media, brands, they were all flocking to Clark, and maybe that didn't sit well with someone like Wilson, who's used to being the center of attention.